Good morning, everybody. Hello, this is episode 323. That's a lot of the OotiniCast. I'm not your host. I'm Chill. I'm Tio. I'm confused. Chill's over there. I'm Tio. Our guest today is Jeremy. We will be starting the proper show in a minute. Remember, this is the raw version. This is where we cup all the time, and which is all safely edited out in the version that gets published as an MP3, etc., etc. And just the top of the show thing: no spoilers for The Last Jedi, please, because I'm not going to be able to see it for a couple of weeks, and that really does bother me. But well, no, it doesn't. But anyway, no spoilers. Even though it is out here in Australia, I assume it's out in the US as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've seen it twice.
You're not kidding, are you?
No.
That's funny.
Right. Is it good?
Yeah.
Just tell me if it's good.
It's good, and it's better than Force Awakens.
That wouldn't be hard.
No.
So, that's great. Is it better than Empire Strikes Back?
No, but it's better than New Hope.
That wouldn't be hard either. So, alright. Yeah, okay. Alright, that places. What about Return of the Jedi?
No, it's better than Return of the Jedi too.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's, again, that wouldn't be too hard. Ewoks.
What's wrong with Ewoks? I don't understand the whole Ewok thing. Why everyone hates Ewoks.
Isn't it that whole... Maybe it's not the Ewoks per se. It was just the whole interaction and... Oh, anyway. Alright. It's like we had peak Star Wars with Empire Strikes Back, and I guess we're still trying to get there. Yeah, oh, we'll see. In that new trilogy, perhaps, which isn't The Old Republic. More about that
I was
later.
reading that, yes.
A little sad. Alright. I think we are good to go. I have tweeted. I think I've tweeted. Yes, I have. So...
Alright.
Ewoks eat humans, according to Agent Iron Spider. Huh.
This is true.
That actually is true, so...
We know since they tried to eat the gang, and we see the helmets.
Which is quite reasonable. I mean, it's not like that makes them cannibals or anything, but other sentients...
No, they're just utilising what's around them.
Now, you're breaking up a little bit for me. Hopefully that's just your internets and not your mic, Jeremy.
Should be okay. No, still broken?
Yeah, it's still a bit
It's a little
flaky.
staticky sounding, yeah.
Okay.
What can we do to... You're just using a headset mic?
Yeah, yep. Just using a headset mic.
There's no easy way to tell besides stopping the recording and just listen back.
I can change to a different mic, to the internal mic to the camera if I need to.
Okay, actually...
It'll be a bit more spatial that way, that's all.
Alright, stop your recording and just go right to the end and listen to yourself talking just the last few
10
things
seconds.
you've said and tell me if it's clear. If it's clear, we're good. If it's not clear, then we'll have to switch mics. Because it could just be a function of the hangout. This kind of stuff has happened before and the recording is fine. I think with Snave, actually, when we had him on at one point. It came across in the hangout as staticky, but the recording was clean. Hello, if you've just joined us, we're sorting out some small, brief technical difficulties.
It seems to be okay.
You can't hear it? You can't hear
I
anything?
can't hear any crackling.
Alright, in that case, drop out of the hangout, come back in, switch back to studio mode, and we'll be good to go. I have to get into restart the recording. Liba Aroha tried to sneak in without anyone noticing, but he noticed. Have you set up all your social media for that new channel of yours, Chill?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. I need to do some more, like, visuals, like, stuff, like coming up with a logo or something like that.
Ooh.
Just a simple one for now.
Yes. Did our favourite artist friend get back to you?
He has not. Well, he kind of did, but then, like, when I asked an immediate, like, follow-up question, he has not replied since, so not sure what's going on.
Okay. Alright, Jeremy is back. Jeremy, are you recording again?
I am recording again.
Okay, you would actually sound better now. And you've switched your Hangout to studio mode.
Yes, I have.
Thank you, sir. Just running through my checklist.
You're right,
my
buddy.
Pre-flight, which doesn't actually exist, but it does in my head, and would be really cool if it did. All right, chill. Let's do this.
All right.
Where's my recording? God damn it.
Going in 5.
Test, 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 test. Beautiful. All right. Go.
Excellent.
Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast. The shroud of the life day has fallen. Begun the snow war has. This is episode 323, being recorded on Thursday, December 14th, 2017. I'm your host, Chill, with our producer and co-host, Tio. Hi, Tio.
Hey, guys.
And our guest today is Jeremy, and Jeremy's also known as Darksplat and Warchild, and sort of a long-term friend of the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jeremy, and what you've been up to in-game.
Okay, so hi everyone. It's been a very long year. I normally do this probably once a year. It's sort of an anniversary sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a pretty busy year. It's my last year in Sydney for a while in the Navy, and I'm returning back to the fabulous city of Melbourne. Love Melbourne. When I talked to you guys last time, I just had my gallbladder back out, and in June I had a terrible car accident where I was sandwiched between two cars, but came out of it fairly untouched.
Wow.
Well done.
Yes, it was. I'm in the final bits of physio, but thank God to some Japanese engineering. Thank you, Mitsubishi, and Free Medical and Dental for the Navy. I've came back pretty well. I don't know if you guys can see those pictures I put up.
Yeah, they're pretty brutal looking.
God. Yeah, would you like me to include them in the show notes? Probably not.
Go for it. No, it's
Yeah,
quite
right.
welcome.
All right.
Quite welcome.
Yeah,
As you can see, I came out fairly well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been over to New Zealand. I went over to Hobbletown, did that, and also saw the geysers. Highly recommend those two things if you're going to New Zealand. I had to drive 6 hours to get there, but it was definitely worth it.
wow.
Everything you see in those two places was just awesome. The Maori sort of culture and how they went through everything there, how they got to New Zealand. All that kind of stuff. The woodwork in for the marriage, that was awesome just to see that. That was pretty good.
It's got something to do with Moana, doesn't it? No?
Almost.
All right.
Last night, or yesterday I should say, I've seen The Last Jedi twice so far.
Wow.
And I've definitely got 2 more times to go. One with my Warchild friends and one with my beautiful wife, which will go to Gold Class.
Very nice.
Yep. As such, in the sort of lead up to this movie, I watched The Force Awakens again, as most people would have, and came across a theory about Rey while trying to figure out her appearance. Is Rey a Mary Sue? It's a bit of a controversial sort of thing at the moment, where a lot of people on Reddit and a few other websites think that Mary Sue and Rey go hand in hand.
Let's explain what a Mary Sue is.
So, a Mary Sue is a female character, and there's also a Gary Stu, which is the male counterpart, where basically the character seems so overpowered and everything seems to go so easy for him that it just makes him so unbelievable.
Right.
And you can definitely see it in The Force Awakens. This actually happens. I won't
Is
say
it
anything about
often the writer who writes himself into the story, or is that something else?
I
Yeah,
think
I
that
thought
might
that
be
was sort of part of it.
something. I don't know.
I think
All
the
right,
idea
keep
is
going.
that like the fan fiction writer wants to sort of make themselves part of the story, and they end up being a little too kind to their own character essentially.
Often this character is recognized as an author insert or wish fulfillment.
There you go.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, okay. So you reckon Rey is...
Most definitely. Oh yes, there is. All the parallels are there, and even in that wiki document, it points out Force Awakens and Rey. You go down a little bit.
And
from
that is
top-
extended into The Last Jedi?
I'm not going to say anything. That will be
All right,
spoilers.
thank you, because no spoilers, but yeah,
Yes,
okay.
no spoilers. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone. Which sort of brings on to in-game. What have I been doing? I've been with my friend. I've been playing with my friend Gaz, and we've been basically collecting loot boxes like crazy, or CSP boxes. He had over 2,500 of them. And Yeah, 2,500
boxes.
boxes across.
Where did he put them?
Well, we have 6 bays of inventory. We sold pretty
Yeah.
much everything else. Got everything
Sure.
into the legacy.
Yeah, all right.
So about 20 odd characters. We ended
Alright.
with 15k worth of components. So for him,
Sure he did. Yep.
Wow.
so he has a lot. He's ready to go for what we're going to do later on. Because of my time restraints, I ended up with about 1.5k of 6p boxes. So it ended up being about 8k worth of components. So we're ready. Because our intention is to do raiding. Basically from now to for another couple of years if the game's still around, obviously. So, if you have 2 spots or you're looking for some very experienced raiders, please get in touch with me. We're APAC players, so times would need to be sorted out. Gaz is a DPS, and he wants to do Mara DPS. I don't know why. Who does Mara DPS?
Marauder. Are you still
Yeah.
a tank?
I'm a heal or DPS. I can tank. It's not my
Alright.
big forte, but healing and DPS is definitely what I do the best.
Now, what happened to your guild that had like 7 raid teams?
That
I guess
is
that's
pretty.
a long time ago. These now.
It is. It's pretty much just me.
Yeah.
Just me and a couple other casuals.
And you'd be playing on the Satil Shan server, I'm guessing,
Yes, I am.
along with us. Yep.
Yeah.
How are you finding the increase in latency?
It's a pain. It really is a pain. Being 300 odd milliseconds now is
Yeah.
actually quite a lot. It's not just on fleet or anything. It's PvP is. I can't do any ranked PvP anymore. That's gone out the window. It might be a little bit different with Nightmare. I might have to do some things to sort of do that for Nightmare Ops, but yeah, it's pretty bad with 350 up to 400 milliseconds.
Yeah.
You Americans
Yeah,
are really
I'm getting
lucky.
about the same. Yeah. Boo.
Yeah. One thing though, I am sick of doing Tarot 5 and Red Reaper on Master Mode over and over and over again on so many tombs. Because that's the fastest way to get CSP. Yeah. So if you want to know some shortcuts, I've done 2 videos for you guys. All the shortcuts in those 2 operations.
Nice.
Flashpoints?
Oh, the flashpoints, yeah.
I'll include those in the show notes, of course. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, right. It takes about 20 minutes for Tarot 5 and about 17 to 80 minutes for the Red Reaper. Depending on the last boss fight, there's a lot of... you get some extra ads with Red Reaper, and sometimes they can be very annoying because they freeze you in spot. So you got to try and do some closing gap movements and a few other things, and it could take you a long time. But other than that, it's not too bad.
Alright. Oh, could you just drop the quality of your video? It's just you're starting to break up, and I'm wondering if it's bandwidth related.
Okay, how do I do that?
In the settings, under... Actually, or is it the one that looks like the mobile phone strength bars? I think if you click on that.
Ah, yes, okay. Medium?
Yeah, try that. Okay.
Oh, alright, how's that?
We'll find
Doesn't-
out.
I'll find out soon.
Yeah, you sound the same, so maybe it's not bandwidth. Anyway, let's keep going.
One of the things though is that I have noticed of me sort of return back after sort of a long time with the game, because obviously I'm at sea all the time,
Yep.
is the music. Has it changed? Because I'm noticing the Black Hell Daily area that I think it's on the pub site. There's a bit of a music that sounds like the Star Wars Rebel 1 music from the Battle of Scarif, and when they're climbing the data vault, it's like that sort of sound. I know, I'm bad at impersonation. But that's what it's like, and I think, I don't know which one came first, if it was a Black Hole one, or if they've inserted that as well
Interesting.
afterwards.
Seems unlikely they would be messing with that stuff, but the actual background music for established areas. But they might. Don't know.
Unless there might be some sort of similarities. Maybe the Swore music guy could weigh in on that. I'm not sure.
Give on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talking about Satil, I've created over 60 tunes for the server merge.
Well done. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah, I did it properly too. I did like character, like yes, this is how one sort of look like that, and names. Names are probably the hardest. I decided to just go with random generator, but grab sort of 2 names from each side. They're all like a Star Wars generator, and just do it like that. For the rest of the time, that's Wars Alive, which is another 4 years worth of license, I believe, isn't it, Tio? About 4 years, guys.
Oh,
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, it's only a 10-year license. We're into 6 years now.
that's true. Yep.
Yeah, unless
Could be
Disney's
extended, of course, but
It could be.
after the whole Battlefront 2 thing, I really wouldn't bet on it. So
Yeah, unless, yes, that's right, unless Disney scraps EA, like this petition wants to sort of happen, which is around about 168,000 signatures. Will the power of the people prevail? That is the question.
or as soon as they get distracted by something shiny, it'll just be forgotten. They'll
Yes,
get back to the way they were doing it. And
Exactly.
call me cynical.
So yeah, it's been a busy time. That's what I've been doing for the last year and a bit. So yeah. What about you guys?
All right. Well, great. Tio, how about your week?
Well, no SWOTOR, unfortunately, for any number of reasons, including having a assignment submitted, which I just got the results from. I got 196 out of 200, and the only question I got wrong was the first one, which was ludicrously simple. So, anyway.
It's always the way.
Isn't it?
That's funny.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm really, really happy about that because it was actually quite difficult material. Anyway, that's unrelated. Last night, as you mentioned, Jeremy, as one does before watching The Last Jedi, we saw The Force Awakens again. So just last night ran through it and actually quite enjoyed it. Been quite a while since I've seen it. However, the scenes with Han and Chewie on their big freighter thing when Rey and Finn gets sucked in and that is just, and those monster thingies are just terrible. They're just terrible. You could cut that part out of the movie. I would not mind at all. It's just... Rest of it is awesome and very much looking forward to The Last Jedi. I'm hoping to see it sometime in the next week or two. We just need someone to look after our young 10-month-old son.
Sorry, mate, I'm not up in Brisbane this time.
That's fine. We have family coming down to visit, but may have to wait until between Christmas and New Year when I'm off work. So we'll see. I did want to mention Patreon. Now, you may or may not be aware that OotiniCast, among others, uses Patreon as a way of receiving contributions from our listeners. Now, the way Patreon works is for any creator who creates things, and the way it is, you patronize someone and you register with the site, interested in a particular product or a particular creator. Every time they create something, you pay a fixed amount of money that you specify. We set this up quite a while ago. It's all great, and we deeply appreciate our patrons. There's various rewards associated with the different tiers. So if you are interested, have a look at patreon.com/OotiniCast, or there's a link on our site. Anyway, they came up with this bizarre idea about changing the way that the patrons are charged. So not us who actually get the proceeds, not the creators, the people who patronize our patrons. And they were going to essentially charge them more. And which means we got a little more money rather than, anyway. And a lot of people were quite upset by this, and they've just backed down, backpedaled completely. They're not going to do it. It's all the way it was. Have no fear. But yeah, I was getting really concerned. I was wondering how the hell am I going to explain this to our listeners and our patrons specifically. But yeah, don't have to now because it's all fine. So,
Wasn't the consensus point the lower tiers, like the $1 and $3 sort of tiers, that was sort of going to be up 38%, so you'd be like paying $1.38, for instance?
yes, at least once per month or something. It would specifically penalise those small contributions per creation, which is certainly all we've ever asked for, and deeply appreciate. So our patrons would have been particularly affected, but none of that is happening, and it sounds like they're not going to because they got stung so badly as a result of this bizarre idea. It never happened. They were proposing it, but it died before it actually got anywhere. So thank goodness that sanity prevailed.
They got swatted hard.
Yep. Now, final thing I wanted to mention was occasional guest Liba Roja from New Zealand. You can follow her at charmed_Chloe on Twitter, is starting to stream. Chill, this must be catching. because you've been doing it for a while, obviously, and now she is as well. You can find her at twitch.tv/LibaRoja. I'll include the links to that in the show notes. She's going to be starting off mainly with SWOTOR and Lotro, my other favourite game, which I found out I've been subscribed to for years and hadn't played for ages. Anyway.
Well, yeah, make a lot of money that way.
It's a good game. Yeah, they used to be owned by... God, who did they used to be owned by?
Who is it? Like, I've never heard of it.
Lotro? Lord of the Rings Online?
Ah, sorry. Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah.
I've just never heard of the acronym.
EverQuest. The guys who do EverQuest. Come on, company. Someone.
Quick, chat room. What is it?
Yeah, this is just old age. They do PlanetSide as well. PlanetSide 2. I could Google it very quickly. I won't bother because it really doesn't matter. Anyway, I'll just cut all that out. But she may branch out into new games as they take her fancy. As she says, come along, join in the fun, and keep her company. So, yes, she will announce when she goes live on Twitter, at charmed_Chloe, as mentioned. So, yeah. Yet another streamer joins the ranks. And apparently it's what all the kids are doing these days. I don't really understand it myself.
One of us.
Join the club. Sony Online. Thank you, Sith Kitty. Yeah, Lotro actually got sold. It's no longer owned by Sony Online. It's now some other company that was spun off by the people who make it. So, yeah. Yeah.
It's not the Standing Stone one?
SOE, Sony Online Entertainment. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Chill's a kid. No, the people who watch Ibaroha. The streamers can be any age, but it seems to be more popular among the younger group of people of all ages watch streams. So, anyway. Alright, I'm drifting a bit. Bring it back. Alright, so yeah, have a look at the channel if you're interested. Over to you, Chill.
All right, first a shout out to the chat room, and Agent Iron Spider, who's been in my chat a lot on stream, is here. Dark Splat, Dizfixel, Evan04111, hi Evans, Gus Bus 113, Jockins, Kitty Kisses, KJ SMLD, Libero is here, Pen, who is also on my stream a lot, is here. Raw Data Zero, Sakatur, Severities, Sith Kitties here, and Trig PT. Hello, everyone. All right, well, I got my sniper Chill Kate through her class story, and then abandoned her. The plan was to, make her a main, and then do the gunslinger on the other side, but for whatever reason, I'm having troubles with the cover bar, and I do like to have the cover bar rather than just static bars. I like the one that comes up when you go into cover, and it just was bugging out on me sometimes. So I put in a bug report and all that, but sometimes it would put the animation. My character would be, in cover. It would even start doing that little buff where your vision gets better, but it would not allow me to actually use cover only abilities. So anyway, very little frustrating. So I decided to just kind of bag that, got her through the class story, so I was happy, and started Chill Gamora, which is a cosplay character, so kind of based on the Guardians of the Galaxy character, and she's mirroring Chill Hulk, so she's a Vanguard to Chill Hulk's power tech. And for now, I'm going to kind of follow Gamera's general arc. I'm not the biggest, in-depth knowledge of her character or anything like that, but I'm going to start her off dark, and then she'll eventually go light side. So right now, well, I put that a couple of days ago. She's now over 50. I think she's 54, 55, and we are just finishing up Hoth. So just finishing up just about to finish Act 2, and I'm doing this alongside Libaroja, who is leveling a consular. And so yeah, and then I've been on my off time been working on getting my new stream set up and kind of prepped. I'm going to go with Chill's room, and can't wait to do it, but we do have some family time next week, so I'm just going to stay in prep mode for a few more days. Then we'll have our family time when I'm sort of back in town and ready to go. Then yeah, I'll make it go live. I have a screenshot of Gamera there, and yeah, I'm enjoying that a lot. So I've never done Dark Side Trooper story myself. I've seen it when I've leveled alongside Liba before, and with Penn actually, and saw it then, but haven't actually done it. It really feels bad. Dark Side Trooper is like, if you're doing Dark Side Sith or even Dark Side Jedi, like there's sort of like there's a hook to hang your hat on, sort of. It's like, okay, you're being corrupted by the dark side, you're lusting for power, all that stuff. With a trooper, if you're Dark Side Trooper, you're just a total jackass, basically. That's all it means.
Yep, absolutely.
You're just a thug with a gun, essentially, at that point. It really feels ugly.
And it's a big gun, too.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel good, but I am kind of sticking with it. I'll switch her to light side after the class story, so I'm going to see the whole class story dark side, and then probably get her all the way to Dark 5, and then flip the switch at some point after that. But, yeah, so... All right, that will bring us to the tip of the week. We've got 4 tips this week. Tio, why don't you start us off?
Our first tip is from Agent Iron Spider. Life Day 2017 is the first Life Day event that I have participated in. Due to that fact, I did a little research to find out what to do. After starting the event with the tips in mind, found the event to be fun at times, but mostly just tedious. So I started looking for other ways to earn parcels. As you are running from point A to point B, if you target your companion and throw a snowball at him, then remove the buff, rinse and repeat. The best way I found, though, is throwing the snowballs at opponents before attacking. You will not have to go out of your way much to get all the parcels you need. And yes, I've used that trick with your companion, running around, I think it was my hangar, this was before Strongholds, so to eventually get the special Snowflake title, which I still wear on my Guardian, actually. And just throw, clear the buff, throw, clear the buff, throw. And as Alex Mixed Up Pixels mentioned on the show a while back, his trick was in his Stronghold to set up a whole lot of NPCs, and you can just throw your snowball at them and just light them up. By the time you get around to the first one, it'll have cleared and you can just keep on going. So that's another trick as well.
That's funny. All right. Second tip is from Quentin of the Starforge server, GM of the Imperial Agent Guild Onomatophobia. Hey, good name there. Very appropriate. If you've done the story, and if not, it's not a big spoiler, but you can watch for that word to pop up. And Quentin writes, if you're browsing the GTN for specific cartel outfits, I've found, more often than not, the individual pieces are listed for far more than they ought to be compared to the armor boxes. For example, the upper armor supplementary armor boxes. So the best thing to do is check the latter first rather than searching for individual pieces. For example, last night I managed to buy a Taskmaster's upper armor box with the jacket and gloves for 70,000 credits, when the individual jacket was being listed at 800,000 credits, which is a massive savings. This, of course, varies by the economy of the server you play on and the items themselves, but I have had this success with this method many times on the server, formerly known as the Red Eclipse, and is now the Starforge server. Happy hunting. I like that one.
Alright, our third tip is from Thindel on the Republic side of the Sutil Shan server. Hi all, love your podcast. I thought I'd share a tip that I discovered this morning the hard way. I play tank normally. I had started a new Guardian long ago and only made it to level 5. I decided today to try a Master's Datacron. I bought it and used it and got 2 items. One to cause a level change and a second item containing the gear. I used the 2 items and it worked great. The gear is a full set of 230 set bonus gear. Here's where the tip comes in. I level my tanks with DPS, so I got DPS set bonus gear. The tip is make sure you are the role you want before you open your gear box, because it is based on your current discipline.
Yes, make sure that with CXP boxes as well. Very important.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention with this was a post that was made this week from BioWare. They said the functionality of the Master's Datacron is not the same as the Outlander token. That is, if you use the Datacron, it is permanently attached to that character. So deleting the character will not refund the token. Because if you remember with the Outlander token, you'd have a chance to renege if you didn't like it.
Right.
not this one. So once you've used the Datacron and been auto-leveled up, you're kind of stuck.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, make sure you're the role you want before you open your gearbox. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I've been dealing with that a little bit myself. I did put some time in on Chill Hulk, who's already 70, and yeah, got some boxes for her. And I'm trying to figure out. It's like I'm playing tank spec, but I want a PvP, so I want some more DPS gear, but it's not really giving me any. So I think what I'm gonna do is get her up to at least to like the rank 3 boxes, and then maybe do this, build up some boxes, flip back and forth between the 2 specs, and kind of get it that way. And then I'll have to figure out, do I really want the tank set bonuses, or can I do it with the DPS but go back to tank spec? I'll have to check and see if that works at all, but we'll see. It gets very messy with tanks anyway, so especially if you're PvPing. But yeah, you'll definitely want to make sure you're in the right spec for sure. Ouch. All right. The 4th tip is from Dekion. So, of course, former guest of the show, and helps with all the guild stuff, and good guy all around. And Dekion writes, "Greetings from the fan event showing of The Last Jedi. At least I have a good reason for missing OotiniCast.
Indeed.
My tip this week covers throwing snowballs. This year, BioWare has added command points when you win a snow-covered parcel. So with boost, you get 320 command points or more.
Really? Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, they did not add XP if you're leveling, but they did
Sure.
add CXP if you're at max.
Okay.
Yeah, which makes me really want to hustle up to 70 on Gamera, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So that's why I haven't, I'm well ahead of where I need to be leveling wise for where I am in the story.
Right.
On Hoth, you're supposed to be in the low 40s. She's 54, 55, something like that.
Right.
And but yeah, I want to hustle her to 70. So I'm using the boost. I've got the gear on and everything, and yeah, I'm just getting to 70 as quick as possible. So yeah, it's all good.
With the boost and stuff like that, you know how a couple of years ago you could buy a crystal for whatever it was so you weren't affected by the double XP and stuff like that? Is that still happening?
The white acute module.
Yeah. Does anyone know?
I thought that didn't work. Didn't they reintroduce it? Can you still buy it?
I'm not
I have a
sure.
memory
I'm
that
not
they
sure
took it away
anymore.
and then it came back, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
So
don't know
my
what the
memory
current
is it's
status
still available. But yeah, sorry, Jeremy, it's no longer available. I'll just cut in whichever answer is correct once I work it out. Good question.
Yeah. Dekian also notes that companions do count, so line them up in your stronghold and begin shooting. Don't forget to remove the snowball buff, which actually is true. It's your companion, you can actually take off a buff manually. So yourself or your companion, you can remove the buffs. But even on your leveling ship, like C2 on your ship or whatever, you can't remove the buff from them.
Yeah,
so
they count as real NPCs.
Yeah. And right, so Dekion says, "Happy Life Day and may the Force be with you." All right, thank you, Dekion. By a random allotment, the winner is Quentin. Congratulations, Quentin. You're the winner of a Tonfon or M83R Droid pet code, courtesy of BioWare, and an OotiniCast provided cartel market pack from the latest shipment. And if you'd like a chance to win the same, please send your tips to OotiniCast@gmail.com before the next show. All right. And that will bring us to the Star Wars trivia question. We haven't had one in quite a while, but we had some gifts come up that sounded interesting, and you wanted me to come up with one, and I think I've got a good one here.
Well done, sir.
All right. It's a little tricky to phrase, so I'm hoping I've got this just right. Now, because I had to make this a little vague, it's actually possible that there could be more than one correct answer. If an answer comes in that says, "Hey, I think it's this," and I check it out and it's it matches everything I say here, then fine, we'll accept it as a correct answer. But I do have a very specific answer in mind for this. Okay, so here's the Star Wars trivia question. Star Wars movie posters are famous for their combination of characters design, which started with the original, featuring an oddly muscular Luke and an overly sexualized Leia, which was done by the Hildebrandt brothers. Every movie since then has had a primary movie poster that was a collage of the characters in the movie. Rogue One is roguish, and Rogue One in that its collage of characters poster has an unusual feature, which it shares with only one of the other episodic movie posters, up to and including The Last Jedi. A feature, for the purpose of this question, is someone or something appearing, not appearing, or appearing in a particular way. So the question is, what is this unusual feature that the Rogue One poster and only one other episodic Star Wars movie poster has? And what is it? And what is that other movie poster? So, and just to give you an example of kind of the thing I'm looking for, it's like one feature of a lot of the movie posters is that a main bad guy looms in the back. But that does happen on the Rogue One poster, so that's not it. And you can ignore the animated Clone Wars movie poster, but for the record, it does not share this feature with Rogue One either.
All right. So does that include only United States movie posters? Because I believe the posters tend to be different in other countries.
Yeah, they tend to be different. We will go with the bog standard U.S. movie posters.
Okay.
They tend to be the one that pop up. Yeah, they tend to be the ones that pop up like on IMDb and stuff like that when you search for the movie.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
All right. So we're looking at the Star Wars movies, such as they are.
yes, all the episodic ones, including Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and of course Rogue One, because you're going to try to figure out what's unusual about Rogue One that also is shared by exactly one other movie poster.
Okay. So episodes 1 through 8, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
All right, and
prizes?
yeah, the prizes are donated by Ben Stark, formerly of the Old Republic Dads, or ORD, and Bad Feeling Guilds, now on the Starforge server. And it's 2 Special Forces armor codes, so 2 winners will be chosen. So if you've missed out on that, you'll have a chance at that. And they'll also get some cartel coins because it's Life Day. So it'll be 2,400 CCs for the winner. Wow, that's a lot. And if there is a runner-up, there'll be 450 CCs. So if there are multiple correct entries, then we'll do one randomly, essentially, for a winner, and we'll do a runner-up as well.
Now, in this case, we will potentially take the best explanation or something rather than... Yeah, okay. We'll go with
right.
that. All right.
Sounds good. Okay, that will bring us to the holo feed, Tio.
Okay, a reasonable amount happening, so let's just talk through it. We'll start with Game Update 5.6.1. As you'll remember, they were going to include the new 8v8 Warzone in Game Update 5.6, but they had to delay it for quality reasons. These things happen. No complaints. And so it's here in 5.6.1. It's the one that is located on Yavin 4. Does it actually have a name that anyone's seen?
No, I haven't been on to do it yet because I've been driving, but
All right.
interesting.
I actually have done the Yavin 4 one. I think is it called? I can't remember what it's called in game.
Okay.
It's very Alderaanian Civil War-ish. It's got 3 nodes.
Yep.
All the nodes seem to have the same, it's not like the middle one is stronger or anything like that.
Right.
The
so it's
layout's
literally a
very
reskin of Alderaan?
Not quite. The layout is similar in that it's laid out left to right, but you'd kind of have to expect that almost. I mean, because if you did like a front to back layout, then one would be really strongly, yours, and one would be really strongly the enemy's. So it is left to right. There's ways to go a little bit more directly towards the middle than there is on Alderaan in Civil War. There's also a buff, kind of like from the Odessan Proving Grounds. This one, if you get it, you can capture a node much more quickly. So there's a little bit of you can do a little bit of gamesmanship with that as well.
Okay. All right. What's your opinion? Do you like it?
I do like it. It's attractive. I've always liked Alderaanian Civil War pretty much anyway, with the exception that, once you get double the points, it kind of, everyone sort of, it sort of falls apart. But it's always interesting until that happens. And this one, you also have the addition, with the addition of that extra buff, you can actually pretty easily sneak a node out from under someone, especially if you've got stealth. I think I'm not sure. I think it holds onto the buff if you're in stealth. So I think it gives a couple of extra ways that you can get nodes back a little bit easier. and it's kind of nice that way. Yeah, I do like it.
It'd also mean that the war zone would be quicker as well, wouldn't it, with the double thing? So normally Alderon's a little bit, 10 to 12 minutes sort of long. Now you could probably do it in about 5 to 7, I imagine.
Why would it be quicker?
Because of the double buff, aren't you, like, getting your points quicker?
Not in the game. I assume the mechanics of the war zone would be independent of, well, anything else, really. Surely.
Because isn't it a capture of the flag sort of deal? Still?
It is. Well,
It is, but I don't think like Odessin that
whole.
there's like an extra points. I don't think it's like makes a. As far as I know, there's no buff that makes one of the nodes stronger. It just lets you capture it more quickly.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
But you still have to hold it for the same amount of time.
Same amount of time.
Points to tick up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as already noted, the rule set is Alderaan, and they've made no secret that that's exactly what they were doing, but just providing it with a new environment. Just to change things up a bit, but if you know how to play the Civil War, use of those mechanics is exactly the same, essentially, just in a different environment. They have changed the queue, so it will turn up more often, and they'll, as they have done with previous releases of Warzones, and that will go on for a while. No effect on ranked, of course, because ranked is only 4v4 arenas, and this is an 8v8. Alright, now also, we have double rewards. It's back yet again. They had intended to do it previously and for various reasons got delayed, but here it is. It is active from December 12th, so it's now, all the way through to the 1st of January, New Year's Day. So you have that much time to experience a whole lot of double rewards, including, I just want to make sure I get this right, you will get double XP, and much more. So it's at least double XP and double Command XP, and I think it may be double Valor, that kind of thing anyway. Definitely XP and CXP, though. Now, also, as we've already talked about in the tips of the week, Life Day is here. It's pretty much the same as the previous year, except for the CXP being added to when you get the parcels. As in the titles you can get, the various rewards, the various hollow trees you can purchase. You can get them, the parcel droid mission where you throw, the overheating droids on Alderaan and Drummun Kaas, so that's all still there. You can get those same hollow trees as rewards. Now, as Evie Emmons responded to us, please make a new event for next year. Snowballs are tired, and a few new items as prizes you can earn would be also nice. Yes, that would be nice. And Josh Wayne responded to that, saying, at the very least, add some new items that you can get with the parcels. Yeah, it pretty much is the same as last year.
Yep.
Right.
So if you've got everything last year, including the titles, there's literally nothing else to do except earn CXP, and that was a rather clever move of them.
Yeah, the new deco's nice. The Valkorian statue is really cool.
So that is new. Okay.
And there's a new flare. So basically, you just go and I don't think it costs
That's for the
anything.
anniversary, isn't it? Isn't that
Yeah.
anniversary stuff?
That's anniversary, I guess.
All right, let's
but-
talk about that in a sec.
Oh, is that separate? I guess it is separate.
Yeah, completely.
Okay, well, separate yet it appeared at the same day.
It did. Now, also at the same time as Life Day, we have the 6-year anniversary vendor has appeared, and they will be in-game until the 17th of January. They sell a bunch of stuff, including the new Valkorian commemorative statue. What's it like, Jill? Did you get it?
Yeah, it looks cool. It's kind of what you'd expect. It's like what they do with a lot of the other character statues in the game, and it's a very typical pose, Valkorian, looking, mighty and impressive, like he tends to do. Yeah, it's well done.
It's very weathered too, isn't it? It's got corrosion all over it.
Seems quite appropriate. Liba Roja asks, oh my god, do you guys feel old yet? You've been podcasting for 6 years. Yes, and it's got nothing to do with podcasting for 6 years. We just feel old. Yes, it's over 6 years at this point. So, wow, that's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, well done.
Look at all this grey hair I've got as a result.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the reason.
I don't have any grey hair, so anyway. I'll cut that bit out too. Now, also with the 6-year anniversary event, you get an anniversary character flare, this is stuff you just buy off the vendor. Speaking of which, the vendor is the Anniversary Personnel vendor. You can find them in the Crew Skills, or now Strongholds and Crew Skills area on the fleet, on your respective faction's fleet. And they tend to be sold for a very small amount. And also, for a limited time, and they do this every year, you can get the Coruscant and Drummondcast Strongholds for only 6 credits. Last year it was 5 credits, previous year was 4 credits. Inflation, you know, but also obviously matching the number of years the game's been around is normally 5,000 credits. So basically like half a mission's worth-ish, even less. So it's a cheap Stronghold anyway, but you're getting it for nothing, so effectively. Just via the regular Strongholds terminal for that. Plus, all the previous anniversary events are also available through the Anniversary Personnel vendor. So, yeah, so all the other stuff you've had previously, such as the 5-year Anniversary Celebration Jawa, and the 4-year Anniversary Commemorative Statue of HK-51. Remember the HK era where everything was HK related? Yes, remember that. Relive those glorious days. Oh, and we have got a picture of the Valkorian statue. And yeah, you're right, it is kind of... It looks like it's brass, and so it's showing the greenish discoloration you get.
Right, yeah.
I'd say more copperish.
Or copper, and then it's going copper green, maybe?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's meant to be more like, you know, like a mold or, you know, something like it.
Very good. Anyway, you've got
it's cool,
until
though.
yeah, it is. You've got until 17 January for that. Now, also a few other events happening. Starting on Boxing Day, December 26, is Relics of the Gree event. Following that, we've got Bounty Contract Week. That's actually January 9th through 16th. And the Rakghoul Plague will be on Tatooine, January 23rd through January 30th. But right now, it's just Life Day, the Double Rewards event. And until next Tuesday, the Rakghouls are on Alderaan. It's all happening.
Yeah, the old Republic flare, the red and white one that's new here, it's very bright. It's like the ones that are kind of in the game tend to be like gold and a little more subtle. This one, it like stands out like a neon sign when someone has it on. The little picture here that kind of shows it looking small is not really how you see it in the game. It looks much more, for the most part, it looks much brighter and like kind of almost garish.
Garish, right? Yeah, so I thought that's where you're going.
Yeah, it's very bright. It's very bright indeed. So,
yeah,
I've kept my my legacy one on, where I've just the one I got for doing all the class stories.
Okay. Now, Penn says he hasn't seen the HK item available, but so we'll have to check that ourselves. That may be fake news. We'll see. Sorry, couldn't help it. All right, so let's go through the 5.6.1 patch notes. Now, if you had a duplicate stronghold following the update, you're now able to purchase additional rooms in them. You were locked out if they were duplicated. Because when they were merging servers together, you ended up with a couple of Drummond casts, say. Yeah, so that was a bit screwy, but that's all been fixed. Character eye colors should now be restored to their pre-game update 5.6 colors. Now, they say that, but there is a post on the forums that says, yeah, the team is looking into what happened because it didn't really work out the way they hoped it would. Now, some of the descriptions of the things that went wrong, for example, my yellow eyes are no longer yellow, they're more green. Brown and dark brown are now gone on human and cyborg. They appear to have been replaced by shades of hazel, so it sounds like everything's gone greenish. Like kind of yellow hazel or gold hazel. Female cyborg had brown eyes, now they're almost gold. Yeah, so anyway, if your character's eye color now looks really weird, I mean, less sparkle, but just weird, they are looking into it and will hopefully fix it soon. Back to that. That was just a post I had lower down. They corrected an issue where enemy cast bars would sometimes disappear. Yeah, that was another problem that people were referring to as being quite disconcerting. So anyway, after 5.6, but before 5.6.1, your cast bar on your enemies could just disappear. And if you're trying to interrupt, that's rather bad.
It makes it hard.
Yes,
Yep.
especially for long shots on Balsavis, that
Right.
2+ heroic, that's really annoying at the end boss there, where you got to do his life force consume interrupt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, hopefully that is resolved. They corrected an issue where some classes are receiving unintended passive bonuses. Just a one-liner, but this is referring to when they did all those class changes in 5.6 and you might have felt really overpowered, it turned out there was an unintended consequence and they had all these passive buffs by mistake.
Okay.
So as of now, your characters are performing exactly as intended. So if you suddenly seem a
good.
bit weak, you haven't been nerfed, they've just taken away the thing that unintentionally buffed you, which means you were
Interesting.
nerfed, but kind of unintentional reversing. Anyway, now, Copero, a trader among the Chiss, a new flashpoint located on Copero. People were complaining, apparently you didn't get a GSI droid, a Jesus droid, which seemed a bit odd, especially since all the mobs were rather overpowered. So, yeah, they're thinking about adding a GSI droid, but it sounds like what they've done instead is significantly reduced in story and solo modes the amount of health that the bosses have and the damage they do. So the story and solo.
Okay.
In Veteran and Master, they have had the bosses have had their health slightly reduced, and number of enemies in all modes has been reduced, and also the Guardian Droid's mortar volley ability is no longer instacast. So it looks like he's got a cast bar, assuming you can see it, but you should now. And the Copero security droid will no longer instant cast his Seeker missile ability, same deal. So they just made it overall easier, less health in all modes, a lot more health in story and solo, and they do less damage in story and solo.
Okay.
And they removed a couple of instant casts as well,
Yeah.
and removed a lot of mobs. So
I have not seen
overall,
this one
Copero-
yet. Yeah.
Yes. You
I
haven't
saw the last Flashpoint, but I've not done this one yet. I'm looking forward to it.
There are a lot of ads, and well, they were a lot of ads. Like they'll just come out from nowhere. You just had no idea where they were coming from. But I don't understand why people would be complaining about not being able to complete it or dying a lot. I've had tunes just in 168 gear completing this flashpoint, so I don't know where it's coming from for that sort of way. But the ads do come from everywhere, and you just
Okay.
go, where is this stopping?
Right. So less in the future. Well,
Yeah.
less of as of 5.6.1. You haven't done it since the patch?
No, I haven't done it since patch.
Yeah, okay.
I did it when it first came out.
Yeah, sure. Alright, Q at Drive Yards. I had an old flashpoint at this point. Remember when it was new? GSF. Anyway, pressing spacebar during the second cinematic in the Q at Drive Yard flashpoint will no longer stop players from progressing. We did mention that last show. It was a rather nasty bug, so that's now
Yes.
fixed. All is well.
Yeah. Especially since how spacebar happy people are, especially with like something like Kuat drive yards that they've used for like grinding and stuff. So
Now, there's another GSF fix to the EMP missiles. Now, this was a fix to a problem they had noted, where it only did 50% damage to all targets, not 100% to the primary, which was what was intended. That has now been resolved. And apparently, the scout fighter's hull has been buffed from 950 up to 1050. This is kind of a stealth buff, because I didn't put it in the patch notes, but the devs did mention that it was something that was needed to correct some of the balance issues that they saw after game update 5.5, and just was missed from the patch notes. So yeah, they're just trying to make responsive changes to issues as they appear. So they did, which is kind of awesome. Now, a few other things under items and economy. Unassembled components will no longer appear in the currency tab. Now, they had already appeared as a something to put in your inventory, but you had a 0 entry in your currency tab, so that has now been removed if you were seeing it. So will no longer see it now. Some currencies will now be hidden in the currency tab when the quantity is at 0, so that's how they got rid of it. If your currency is 0, you just don't have a line item. Makes sense, I guess. What else? The claim and disintegrate buttons will no longer appear highlighted in the command stash if no item is selected, because that would have been a bit disconcerting. and companion gift vendors on the Imperial fleet and the Androman class have had their sale prices corrected. Interesting, it was only on the Imp fleet and Androman casts, not on the pub side. Now this is the case where the companion gifts were essentially giving them away, as in you could purchase them for 0 credits, but then you could sell them back for more than 0. If you did this enough times, you would accumulate a very, very large number of credits, as apparently some players did. And this is very much considered an exploit, and while they're not going to say exactly what they're doing, they are in the process of determining who took advantage of it, and they will be punished, or either suspended, having the credits removed, or banned, basically. And they're going to pay particular attention to those who are attempting to hide the activity, but like by moving the credits among characters or whatever. So if you did it, they're going to come after you. If you did it and tried to hide it, they're really going to come after you. So yeah, some of that action has happened, but a lot more is yet to come. So if you were one of those who reported it to the devs once you discovered it, that's all taken into account, so you've probably got nothing to worry about. So yeah, if you discover something that is too good to be true, it almost certainly is, and you should stop doing it. The personal environment shield in Scum and Villainy has had its sale price corrected. Those are the oranges, or at least we always thought of them as oranges, that you purchased from the vendor. I don't know what the price was. I mean, it's just a nominal price. Yes, really cheap.
Yeah, it was like 400 odd credits or something. It was nothing.
They must have put it up to something silly or something like that. Oh, and CXP you get for completing planetary heroics and daily missions across the game has been increased to 225, up from 75. They said this was happening. They intended to do it previously, but now they got it finally in. And Darth Hexid, that new companion, if you did the various achievements, the 3 for PvE or PvP a while back, has been added to the companion locator terminal, if you want to get them. And we've already talked about that. And that. Conquest War Reward, just mentioned this in passing. There's a problem with them being delivered. It looks like 2 weeks in a row where they're just not being given to players. That is, you participate in Conquest, you should have got the rewards. They're just not happening. Don't need to put in a ticket, they will take care of it automatically. But yes, they know they're working on it. Ranked PvP, there was a problem with the leaderboards, which they've sort of partially fixed as of now, but server names aren't appearing, so they still need to fix that. But it was all broken for a while, but it sounds like it's getting better. And there was a bug related to solo ranked missions. They're not giving anyone beyond anything, any rewards beyond CXP and credits. Now, as of now, solo ranked missions are rewarding unassembled components and crafting materials as intended, in addition to CXP and credits. It was missing in the patch notes, but it is actually working in 5.6.1 as of now. But they still aren't giving Season 9 tokens, which is a bit of a downer, because that is one of the points of that system. But they will fix that sometime in the future, for this is solo ranked. And the other bug present, instead of giving players one crafting loot box, which coincides with their command rank tier, they're getting one crafting lockbox from each of the 4 tiers. That doesn't seem like a bad thing necessarily. They will fix it later. Doing that is not an exploit, given you're not getting your Season 9 tokens, so it's okay. Take all the loot boxes. That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, anyway, sometime after 5.6.1, in a future update, daily and weekly missions will give 1 crafting loot box as expected, so don't get too attached to the 4 that you're getting now. Solo ranked daily missions will reward 40 unassembled components instead of 30, and will grant 150 ranked Season 9 tokens instead of none. Solo ranked weekly missions will reward 250 unassembled components, up from 200, 1,000 ranked Season 9 tokens as intended instead of none. And as an added bonus, 3 charged matter transubstantiators, which are crafting mat for making cool stuff. And so, too long, didn't read. Solo ranked missions granting unassembled components, crafting materials as of 5.6.1. And more changes coming in solo ranked missions in the future update, which will be after Christmas sometime. Already talked about that. Now, there was an NVIDIA GeForce competition, which I believe is over. You just had to sign up for GeForce Experience, which most of us probably already do if you have a NVIDIA card. But that's all done.
Who's the winner? Who's the winner? Who's the winner?
Don't know.
December
They were
13th.
supposed to going to be announcing them. Didn't get anything.
Ah,
Yeah,
neither
to
did
do to
I.
Trigger it. It was very unclear. But anyway, some sort of partnership thing. But now, water under the bridge. Don't worry about it. Timothy Zahn, the author of
Dawn.
well, the Thrawn trilogy, the original Thrawn trilogy, and the new canon Thrawn books, the original Thrawn, and now there's going to be a sequel. They had a Facebook chat with him. He was working with BioWare when they were doing the Chiss stuff on Capero, and he had a live Facebook chat. I'll link to it so you can go back and see the chat in real time or see all the comments. I didn't actually read through it, but because it's a bit hard to find the signal among the noise, but so that's kind of cool. Worry about that. Now, a bit of a blast from the past. Ben Irving, Keith's predecessor as producer on SWTOR, is still a BioWare. We knew he got sort of moved on to something else. It turns out that he is now a pillar producer for Anthem, the new game that BioWare is developing. Now, what's a pillar producer? He is the producer for one of the 3 core pillars, which include, and he is personally responsible for combat, creatures, gameplay, and progression, systems, and UI, user interface. There you go. Of course, with SWTOR, there were 4 pillars, including story. Remember all that?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's gone away now. We're back to 3 pillars, because this is just general gameplay. There was, I don't remember what the other pillars are. I could look it up. Anyway, all right. So that's what happened to our Australian friend Ben Irving, doing quite well. Haven't heard much about Anthem for a while. So they've gone really quiet on that.
There was a bit at the Games Festival last month, so it wasn't too bad.
All right. How are we doing for time? Oh yeah. Okay. Gone quite quickly. All right. Now, last bit of news. We have talked about in the last couple of shows this new trilogy of movies that Disney are producing for Star Wars, who is going to be directed by Rian Johnson, who also directed The Last Jedi, which by all reports is fantastic, and so turns out he's a pretty bloody good producer, bloody good director, so that's great. There was speculation, which hadn't actually been contradicted, that new trilogy could be set in the Old Republic era, because all we knew would be something new in the Star Wars universe.
I had my fingers crossed. It was, please.
Yes, but sadly, we have a direct quote from Rian Johnson himself, where he said, referring to Knights of the Old Republic, "I played that game when it first came out, and it was like, God, I loved it. Yeah, that's a fantastic game. And as I understand it, the instinct to automatically go to something that you know and love that you've already seen. But it's not happening. To me, what's really fun is the notion of what new stuff are we going to see? What new stories are we going to tell?" Yeah, so he's not going to tell us what it's about, but now you can actually rule out the Old Republic.
Now, he's talking about the game, though, in particular. That's the storyline he's sort of talking about, I imagine.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he can't do it in the same era.
Yeah, but he's sort of talking about something new, Jeremy. Let's just give up.
Yeah,
Let it go.
He clearly doesn't want to be beholden to BioWare or anything like that.
Yeah. Anyway,
Fair
so
enough.
be it. Anyway, that's the news.
All right, then. Oh, let's see. Oop, hang on a sec. Sorry. Okay. All right, and that will bring us to the force feedback where we read our tweets and emails. And Java Doggy, Starbucks of our own Utini Rage, was on the Satil Shan server. And Java Doggy writes, "Hey gang, Java Doggy here. I love the improvements they've made with the new patch with the activities window. You don't have to randomize till you get the one you want. Plus there is the provided reward section in the display. The Chiss especially was fun, but small. I don't like what they're doing as far as the new planets. Umbra and now the Chiss one. Flashpoints can only get boring, even when you're grinding for decos or special outfits. They could have thrown some dailies in with a rep grind and special items or titles. All in all, I'm not bummed, just a wee bit disappointed in the roadwork that they're laying out."
Java Donkey, I agree with you with the activities window. I think it's awesome, that new UI. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually still getting used to it. It's been out a little bit now, but because I've been doing so much leveling, I haven't used it that much. But I've used it a little bit the last couple of days, and it really is nicely designed.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Jonas, who joined us on episode 317 to talk about role-playing, and is mainly known as Iridox, writes, "Hi again, guys. Just wanted to draw your attention to the subtle change that was made to the outfit designer with this patch, a change that unfortunately screws over role players and people that prefer a more basic outfit to a degree. You can find the specifics in the below link. I was hoping you could give perhaps a highlight, seeing as a single thread on the official forum tends to get drowned out. But alternatively, I'd be happy to say a few things about it." Mm-hmm. And let's see. There's a
what
new
actually happened?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a new unnecessary restriction. Before the recent patch, it was possible to dye white and green items by adding them to an outfit and subsequently dyeing the outfit. It allowed you to make cool combinations with simple outfits like this. And so, let's see. Let me try to elaborate. Before, it was possible to add a gray, white, or green item to an outfit and dye it, like you can see here with a black dyed bantha hide vest from the Korriban vendor.
I'll include
However,
a link to
since-
this post on the official forums.
Okay. Since the new patch launched, they've made this impossible. Now when you try to add a dye to a gray, white, or green item, to an outfit, you are unable to open the dye tab. Instead, you get a different image. And while this is not necessarily a big deal, it is a pointless and annoying limitation, especially since a lot of these vendor items had some of the simplest designs in the game, enabling you to, for instance, use them like the inner tunic of a robe. However, you can still match the colors to outfit with these items. You just can't color them for whatever reason. And I hope that clarifies what I'm taking issue with.
So the error is item does not support dye modules, which means they've taken out the dye module slot where it was there previously. That's kind of an odd.
It's interesting. There's always
choice.
been a lot of, especially like first planet type gear, that they never added dye modules to, but it's odd that they might take it away from some that
Yeah.
I hadn't known they would do that.
So it sounds
And it's
like
not as if it's not as if it's also like a proper, canon typey outfit either. It's just a random bantha hide vest.
yeah. I would guess that's a mistake, which hopefully they can fix. Oh
Maybe.
well.
Yeah, and I tend to agree that a lot of the simpler outfits are kind of useful for role play, but also just I tend to like the look of simpler outfits as well, just in general. When they get really fancy, it's like for me it almost limits like the number of characters that I would enjoy putting it on. Like some of those crazy Sith robes with the spiky shoulders and all that stuff. And it's like I have to have a really specific character in mind before I would put something on it like that. But anyway, okay. Yeah, hopefully that is something that will get changed back, or if it it's just maybe it's a bug even that got introduced.
Yeah.
Okay. And Shathan writes, and I've seen Shathan in chat quite a bit. Hi, I've been a longtime fan of OotiniCast. Every year I come back in December due to Star Wars fever, and I play until about March. This year I'm kind of a bit disappointed in lack of content, but I have been noticing since the Star Wars Battlefront 2 fiasco that there's been a lot of toxic discussion about the EA Disney license. I could debate for hours on the subject, but I will try to keep it short on why I support the EA Disney license. The first question I ask anyone who signs the Disney EA revocation going around, that now has over 120,000 signatures, is what do they expect to replace EA? A lot of people come up with any other game publisher or their favorite publisher. That's great, let's give them the license, and now they need $60 to $200 million for development to make a great game, which is where the whole plan falls apart. Most investors don't like taking lots of risk. Video games are, by nature, very risky. The investor ends up providing the funds until the game is released and hopes it does well. It sounds good until a game flops or has fatal bugs. Most small, unproven studios will have a hard time convincing investors that they have the next best thing, and I'll give a couple of examples on how bad things can get. AAA title, 4 years. Annual costs $26 million for staff, salaries, and benefits for 180 person development team, $4 million for contractors and voice actors, $2 million for office building, software license, and hardware, $32 million for annual total, $128 million over the 4-year development cost. If it does well, $240 million for 4 million people at $60 each, without including monies lost through retail sales or taxes, $112 million profit. Does poorly, $30 million for 500,000 at $60 each, $98 million loss. I don't want to make it into an essay, but it's a very high-risk business for the game investor. In my opinion, EA is unlikely to have the desire to develop anything but Battlefront, if 2 was a success, SWTOR, and their mobile games, given there is 5 years left on the agreement. If Disney was to abruptly terminate the EA contract, they will have a hard time getting a game company with investors to invest. Disney would then be stuck financing games or spinning up their own game studio, which they've indicated that they don't want. For now, the EA contract is the best option, and I'd like Disney in the future to explore licensing Star Wars games based on genre, etc., and collect royalties from the game, allowing for a more open development without fixed terms, which can frighten investors. Sorry for the essay. And Jeremy, I think you had something earlier in your notes that you were going to say something about the EA Disney license.
Yeah, so it's now at 160k for that signatures, which is cool and all. But I had the same conversation with my friends yesterday, just before the screening of the movie that we saw, Last Jedi, and we came to the same conclusion. If you took EA out of the picture, who would you then put in the picture?
Right.
You know, we talked about, Take-Two, Activision.
Activision. It has to be a big one.
And with EA and Activision, they're both heavy into microtransactions, so which way would it go as well with all that? So yeah, it would be all about which big company would have to go through it, and then how would they then get the ongoing cost and then the ongoing profit with that as well? Because microtransactions are here to stay. It'll just be what form will they take as they make the evolution step forward and forward. So that's the sort of the thing that we have to look for. As much as sorry, Tira.
No, go.
So as much as I don't like EA, I do realise that we need EAs, or those big companies as such. The only thing I don't like about EAs is when they buy companies and then basically spit them out and then roll over again and again and again, like Visual Studio, the game that was doing the Uncharted-like Star Wars game. Also, that kind of stuff. That's the only thing I don't like about the EA sort of. But otherwise, I'm quite happy with how EA sort of handles Star Wars as for maybe not Battlefront. I'm not that kind of person, but as long as they get it right, I suppose is the balance with those microtransactions, and that's the big kicker, really. How would Activision, how would EA balance those microtransactions with everything else?
Well, there was a Trick PT in chat mentioned that he asked what has EA done with the Star Wars license, and not much is the answer, and that's kind of true. There was the Amy Hennig game, but that's just gone completely south, so that's just not going to happen. They're going to repurpose the assets, but we won't see a game for a long time. Now, again, none of that actually changes the fact that EA is just a game studio, game publisher, like any other, one of the biggest. And would anyone else actually do any better? Don't know. The only thing they should change, potentially, is being a little less greedy in terms of getting money out of people via microtransactions and gambling boxes specifically, because it's just they're getting a little carried away, in my opinion, with and the bit where they really went bad was selling power.
Yes, I agree. So happy with the boost for time and stuff like that, but power, pay to win, that's not the sort of what we want.
Yeah, a company's got to make money. Programmers, artists, designers, everyone else, animators, they've all got to get paid. And they're not doing this for love, though, given the amount they actually do get paid, a lot of them are. Historically, the amount of money that devs are paid is just terrible compared to the rest of us in software development or whatever else. If you want to make money, you don't become a game developer. You do that if you love doing it.
the thing that EA has done right though has been the mobile game scene. I think Star Wars Galaxy, not Galaxy, Star Wars,
Galaxy of Heroes.
yeah, Galaxy of Heroes. Thank you. That was done correctly. I play that still quite often throughout the day as well. Like I thought that was a brilliant done game for a mobile game, and there's a few others that they did as well with the Star Wars Rebels characters as well. There's a few of those out.
Yeah.
They do some games really well, obviously with a smaller cost footprint, and just somehow works.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if like maybe they change things up. I mean, maybe instead of only having the license out to one company, they actually invite companies to come to them with ideas for games, and they do it on a game by game basis. Doesn't have to be the way they're doing it right now with a license to only one company. Although obviously there are advantages, and I'm sure that's part of why they did it, is to simplify the relationships and so on. But maybe they will consider doing it some other way once this license runs out.
Yeah, as Evans says in chat, I know companies make money, but EA goes the wrong way most of the time. They do seem to misstep a little bit, especially when it comes to... I guess they just got so enamored with the whole concept of making money via the gambling boxes that they thought, let's put gambling boxes everywhere. And then big mistake in Battlefront 2 was thinking, why don't we sell power? Because people will definitely buy that, but we can't sell cosmetic stuff because who wants to see a pink light Darth Vader?
We have Darth Vader and Darth Maul together on the battlefield, and Rey, all these characters. That's not canon either.
Yeah,
I know.
It was a bit of a weak argument. But anyway,
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. All right, Shell, let's wrap up because
All right. And one thing, and also for the Star Wars trivia question, and maybe you edit this in earlier, Tio, but if you have an answer for it, send it to OotiniCast@gmail.com before the next episode in 2 weeks. All right. And that's the show. If you'd like to play with us in the Ootini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Sotil Shan server, or in our Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Ootini to join the Ootini channel. Then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to OotiniCast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter using @OotiniCast. You can find contact details for all of us on our website, OotiniCast.com, which includes how to subscribe to us using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live semi-bi-weekly on Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Go to OotiniCast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby, and thank you to the chat room, and thank you to Jeremy.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you next week.
All right, guys, keep recording. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with Dr. Swotor, Daniel, who's going to be talking about microtransactions specifically.
Actually, about gambling and microtransactions.
So, that would most apropos good follow-up to the discussion we just had. And there may be another episode appearing out of the ether that she'll maybe doing an interview with someone.
Right. We'll see if I can
We'll see if
arrange
that
it, and
works
how
out.
quickly I can arrange it too.
Yeah, we won't. No teasing beyond what I've already said. So let's just see how that works. Anyway, hopefully you enjoy The Last Jedi. I know I will when I finally get to see it, which I hopefully will be before the next show, but no guarantees at this rate. So yeah, may the Force be with you and or serve you well. Take us out.
Same to you.
Alrighty. Stopping the stream. Stopping the broadcast.